Hi, my name is Jonathan Broughton. I'm with Lat 26, and today we're going to be talking about our Lat 26 Fine Polish. This is one of the few polishes that actually crosses over into the automotive industry really well, especially for the clear coats. So without further ado, we'll be using the Fine Polish on the clear coat of this hood. As you see, I've taken my Fine Polish, I put into a squeeze bottle. I like squeeze bottles when it comes to polishes. You can really control how much you put on. As you see here, I'm not putting on a lot. The nice thing about the Fine Polish, like with all our Lat 26 polishes and compounds, is they have a lot of lubricating oils in there. Very good for the marine industry. Gives you a lot of working time. Working time you don't necessarily need on cars, but still it does help reduce the amount of product you're gonna need for the polishing. So we put all Fine Polish on the product or onto the surface. Now we're gonna grab our machine and start to polish. Here I've got a Makita polisher. This is a rotary polisher. This has got our yellow wool on it. It's a double-sided yellow wool. In the marine industry, we like to use double-sided pads. They do a much better job in the marine environment on larger vessels. I know in the automotive industry, they like to use the single-sided pads, which is great. We recommend using those single-sided pads if you've got them, but for our demonstration purposes here, we're gonna go ahead and use our marine double-sided pad. This is on a high-speed rotary polisher. We're going to set this at 1200 RPM. There we go. It's always good to have a variable speed polisher. And so it's got, we do recommend the Makita polishers. I know that DeWalt's got some. There are, whatever you want to use for your preference, that's fine. Milwaukee also makes them too. But for our purposes today, we're going to be using the Makita. Now, I've put the product on the hood, and I'm going to go ahead and manually spread that out. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and start polishing here. The nice thing about this Fine Polish is it does a great job of, like I said, it's got a lot of polishing oil, so it does a great job of spreading around evenly. It doesn't have a lot of the compound dust that you would normally associate with polishes or automotive polishes. And again, you get a lot of working time with this product, so you can really get in there and bring back that shine. I'm using a yellow wool. We're using this yellow wool because it's a good synthetic wool. It's what we call our working wool. It does a great job of picking up contamination out of there, removing compound swirls. Generally on boats, but again, I can also work on cars. Very soft. You can see I'm really going back and forth. Try to keep it as flat as possible in this situation, but given the curve of a car as opposed to a boat, you really have to pick up the pad a lot in order to make proper contact with the surface. On boats, you have a lot more opportunity to keep the pad flat, and that's important on boats because you remove those compounding swirls. Here you see I went ahead and polished. Now I'm going to follow up with one of our foams on the same machine. This is a service pad. This has actually been used quite a bit, but this is our finishing pad. And we're going to go ahead and go with our foam finishing pad. I'm going to go ahead and add some product, some of the Fine Polish to this pad here. I'm going to add some to the surface. I don't need a lot. Again, this product, the Fine Polish, has got plenty of polishing oils in it. Allow you a lot of working time, especially with foams. I'm going to run this around 1200 RPM. But first I'm going to go ahead and spread this evenly across the surface. Okay, we're going to go ahead and show you that we have our black pad. This is our finessing pad. Very, very soft black foam, specifically made for Lat 26 degrees. We're going to go ahead and use the Fine Polish on the hood again. This will help remove any swirls that were put in by the yellow wool earlier. Not only am I going to put product on the hood of the car, I'll put it on the pad itself. We want to lubricate that foam initially, along with lubricating the clear coat. Now we're going to go ahead and spread the product onto the surface. And then we'll go ahead and run this around 1,000 RPM. I'm going to wipe off the residue. Not much residue to wipe off, which is nice. Again, that's the nice thing about the fine polish. So many lubricating oils in there. You don't end up with a lot of compounding dust. This really is a fine polish. That's why we recommend it as a crossover to the automotive side from the marine side. You can see that shine now. Really brought back the shine and the feel. Using a very soft, edgeless microfiber, one of the products that we have on our site. Really, really nice microfiber here. This has been cut by RF, and the nice thing is it's a soft edge as opposed to a melted edge, so it doesn't leave any scratches. That's the nice thing about the edgeless microfiber here. All right, we wiped that surface. Now we're going to go ahead and get this ready for the nano ceramic. Now I'm going to go ahead and prep the hood here with 50% alcohol, 50% water. That's what we're going to need to do to get the polishing oils off of here and any contamination that might be on the hood, on the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I want to thoroughly spray the area and remove that contamination from the surface before we apply that nano ceramic. Very important to do that. If you don't have the surface properly prepped, what's going to happen is the nano ceramic is not going to properly bond to the clear coat. And if it doesn't properly bond, it's just going to wear away very quickly, and you're going to drastically reduce the life expectancy of the nano ceramic. So prep is really key. You want to make sure that surface is as clean as possible and there isn't any type of residue left on the surface. You might want to wipe it a couple of times just to make sure you got everything off of there. That's wiped. Now we're ready for the nano ceramic. We're going to be applying the Lat 26 nano ceramic to the hood of this car now. So without further ado, I've opened this up, and as you can see, it comes with a dropper, which is really nice for controlling the amount of product you put onto the surface. And it comes in an aluminum bottle too, so just in case you drop the bottle, you don't lose the product. You don't want this thing shattering from a glass bottle. All right, here you see one of our applicator pads. We're using a felt applicator. I'm going to go ahead and apply the drops to the surface here. This is a new applicator, so I'm going to apply a lot more drops than I would need to initially, and then after that, so you can put subsequent drops, but not nearly as many. Okay, here I'm going to apply to the surface. I'm starting with a circular motion. I'm going to follow up the back and forth, making sure I've got that on there, and then finally in the same direction. It's going to go on very quick and goes on very, very thin. Nano ceramic is a very thin product. And again, you really want to go in the same direction after you've wiped it on. The nice thing about the Lat 26 Nano Ceramic is it was designed for high humidity and high temperature environments, mainly South Florida in the summer. So you've got more working time with this product than you do with a lot of other ceramics. I'm going to go ahead and start wiping now. Now this is where you really have to wipe. You're not just wiping off residue, but there's very little residue to wipe off. It's actually, you're polishing, you're like hand polishing the ceramic. You're also wiping off residue, but you're bringing out that shine, and you really need to wipe a lot. This is not like a typical polymer or a wax where you can just wipe off the residue and you're done. In this case, you have to wipe and wipe and wipe and wipe. So I'm starting off with I'm starting off with a circular motion for my wiping, and then I'm going to move to a cross hatch, and I've just switched sides on my microfiber here. You really want to switch sides a lot when it comes to this product. You want to have clean sides, clean sides. So I'm doing the hood of this car. This would be about the right size for me to switch over. So every time I've come to the other side, I want to switch over to a new side. That's why I've got this folded the way I do, to make sure that I always have a clean side. And I just keep wiping and wiping. If you've got the right light, you'll be able to see what you're wiping. You'll be able to see that shine, that sheen that's left, that still needs to be wiped off. In addition, you can do a crosshatch pattern. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the other side now. Again, to a new clean side here. You wipe one way and then you can wipe the other way. Just do a lot of overlap. I can now see, you really need the angle of light. If you're in a garage or if you're in a warehouse where you've got a car and you've got that light, you know, you really have to take a look at it, you know, get that angle that you need to see that sheen, so you know what you're wiping. You don't want to wipe blind. If you're out in the sun, you know, same thing. You just want to get that angle of light so you can see what you're wiping. And here what I'm doing, as you can see, I'm just kind of looking around. I'm checking the area to make sure I've got everything. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything and make sure that looks good. All right. Looks like I've got everything now. All right, she's good. So we have one coat on there. What I would recommend for multiple coats, and I would recommend a second coat on a car. You can go with one, it'll be fine, but I always like to do two coats at the very minimum, just in case you miss anything. Can't always be perfect all the time. You can't always overlap. There's always an area you miss. So second coat, certainly make sure that you cover the area. It's fully covered, and you're good to go. Plus, with a second coat, it's obviously going to last longer as well. So I would recommend coming back tomorrow and putting on a second coat. Let this cure. Let this cure for a good 6 to 12 hours before putting on that second coat. That means that you could put a coat on in the morning and then put a coat on in the afternoon, but if you want, just give it till the extra day. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and wait till tomorrow, and then we'll put a second coat on. We'll go from that. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Jonathan Brodden with Lat 26 Degrees. For more information, go to our website at lat26degrees.com.